Hello everyone and welcome to F2 teammate comparison. In this video we'll be comparing performances of the F2 drivers and their teammates so far this 2024 season. Let me know what you think driver teammate kind of is the best combination and is the closest down in the comments below. Let's start off with the Premier boys. I think this is kind of one of the more closer battles as kind of both drivers have underperformed in different weekends. Antonelli though is kind of the clear one edging out Barnard for kind of that dominant Premier kind of lead driver role, where his 5 race result victories over Barnard's 2 kind of shows that he's done better on average than Barnard, who's had a terrible season. Qualifying result though, Barnard's been okay in qualifying, and so is Antonelli, getting 4 apiece, but still not near the top where they want to be. Sprint result, it's very similar, a little better by Antonelli, but still okay by Barnard in those weekends where he does turn up. Total points, Antonelli as well. Those race finishes, those point finishes, kind of allow him to be further ahead in the point championship than Barnard, with 59 points to Barnard's 34. Average qualifying margin, the closest in all of Formula 2, with 0.075 difference in favour of Antonelli. Both drivers have 1 win apiece, which equates to another podium apiece. So a very close battle at Premier. Now let's move on to Roden, where it's all one-way traffic for Zane Maloney, who has 7-1 race results, 6-1 qualifying results. I'm not counting qualifyings where someone didn't set a representative lap time because it's unfair. Sprint results, 5-3. So Maloney's done very, very well against his teammate, and some might say is a very difficult kind of car to set up this year, as we've seen by a lot of the different teams' struggles throughout the season at different events. Points, 101, one of 3 drivers to get over 100 points so far for Zane Maloney. Mietta's 19. Qualifying margin, a lot bigger than what we saw with the Premier boys, with a 0.229. So quite a big margin. And F2, given they're all the same spec cars. And wins, 2 wins for Maloney, 6 podiums for Maloney. Yeah, it's Maloney's dominated his teammate this year. So I think whatever you say about his kind of drop off mid-season, you can still say he's been way better than his teammate. And the same goes at Campos, where Hadjar has wiped the floor with Marty. In the first race of the season, it looked very kind of closely competitive, where Marty showed up properly and kind of looked like a dominant driver, getting 2 podiums. But since then, he's only gone on 1 podium and almost 0 points. So kind of difference shows, with Hadjar getting 6 race result victories, 7 qualifying result victories, although Marty's come back in the sprint races, where I think Hadjar has had a lot of his bad luck and his kind of ill fortune has been during those sprint races, where those picture races he's been able to kind of keep together as he's more near towards the front of the field, but in the sprint races where he's mid-pack, he kind of gets swallowed up. So maybe that was something to keep an eye on for Red Bull. Is Hadjar someone you can put in the middle of the back of the pack and will kind of keep it clean, kind of keep it consistent and score points? Because in F2, he's shown from the front he can do stuff, but from midfield and from the back of the grid, maybe not. Total points, 133 for Hadjar, leading the championship. Marty down, dwindling mid-table, bottom of the table with 38 points, so not great. And once again in qualifying, you can see that Hadjar is one of the biggest gaps in qualifying, with 0.411 different in favour of Hadjar. So very strong by Hadjar, so keep it up. 3 wins for Hadjar as well, who's been one of the best drivers all season and has kind of shown it in his race pace. And podiums, 5-3. You would think Hadjar might have more podiums considering he has been so good this year, but those kind of unfortunate events throughout the season in kind of a variety of races has kind of scuffed him in that area. Then we have the ART duo in O'Sullivan and Martins. This is quite even. I think Martins was expected to do much better this year compared to O'Sullivan, and also in general, as he was kind of my favourite to win the championship, considering his performance as a rookie in 2023. But we can see race results, 4 apiece, qualifying results, 3 apiece. But sprint races, O'Sullivan edges out Martins. Total points, O'Sullivan as well, making those sprint races work, as he gets 42 points compared to Martins' 31. Although Martins has outqualified O'Sullivan by 0.062, which is very, very close. Also very small, like the Premier boys. So it's a good battle on ART. maybe a bit too close to the battle, as we saw in Silverstone, as each driver has 1 win apiece, which equates to another podium. So there we go. Now we have the Dams with Jack Crawford and Juan Correa. Crawford has absolutely dominated Correa, but I think that's a surprise coming into the season, where Correa is kind of an older driver who's kind of nice to have back in and around the kind of industry in the field, but we all know Crawford's a talented guy, and he's showing it here with these kind of results and these kind of domination over his teammate. 7 race result victories to 1, and then 5 qualifying result victories to 2. Sprint results, it's 7 to 1, and then points, it's 84 to 30. Average qualifying margin as well, I think this is one of the biggest in all of F2, with a 0.68 difference on average. That's huge. Like, given they're in the same car, around the same tracks, that's more than half a second. That's 2/3 of a second on average on all of the kind of 8 tracks they've raced around. That's huge. Wins, Crawford has that 1 win and 3 podiums. Well, Correa managed to get that podium in Spain, which kind of puts him on the board for a podium. Moving on to Invictor, I think this is a kind of an interesting battle, because Miney was a very strong driver. He is a very strong driver, and Bortoleto was kind of a young gun coming through after an F3 championship run last year, and I think Bortoleto has kind of shown his consistency more often and kind of pushed out Miney, and Miney doesn't like it. Bortoleto, 5 race result victories over his teammate, 3. Qualifying, same story, 5 to 2. Sprint results though, it's even. But in total points, there's 1 clear winner, with Bortoleto almost having double the points of Miney with 98. Qualifying margin, 0.281, so slightly in favour of Bortoleto. I think he's kind of pushed on really since this triple header. He's done really well, Bortoleto, so he needs to keep it up if he wants to kind of challenge for that championship. Wins, Bortoleto has the 1 win, but only 3 podiums, so it's quite surprising the amount of podiums he has compared to where he is in the championship. So he's obviously been scoring points consistently in the kind of mid-point scoring position of 4, 5, and 6. Miney, 4 podiums, so maybe he's kind of scoring more podiums and more kind of 1, 2s, and 3s, but less in those middling and lower points positions. Now we have MP Motorsport with Colapinto and Hauger. And coming into the season, I think as well, Colapinto had a good year last year in F3, but Hauger is a standard F2 driver. Everyone knows what he is, very strong, and Colapinto has proven that he's as good, if not better, than Hauger. So I think Williams will be very happy with their academy product. 5 race results to Colapinto to Hauger's 3. Even in quality results, 5 apiece. And then for the sprint results, it's 6 to Hauger and 2 for Colapinto. Total points though, again in Colapinto's favour with 92 points to Hauger's 66. And this shows, I think, similar to what we saw before with Invictor, even though Hauger has 1 more podium with 4, Colapinto has scored more consistent points. Getting those points positions more often, even if it's not a podium, still puts itself higher in the standings. I think Colapinto and Bortoleto having very similar seasons, so I think they need to keep it up, because next season will be their year, kind of be the mature F2 drivers who have been around for a while and kind of win the championship like we see Hadjar doing this season. And now we have VAR and Enzo Fittipaldi and Villagomez. Fittipaldi is wiping the floor with Villagomez, arguably the worst driver on the F2 grid this year, with Fittipaldi having 5 race victories over Villagomez, 4 qualifying victories over Villagomez, 7 sprint results over Villagomez, and then way more points. I think it's 6 times as many points as his teammate, which is, it's just a brutal show. I think that's the biggest kind of multiple in the series. There's bigger points gaps. I think this is the biggest kind of difference in terms of proportionality. So it's very strong for Fittipaldi compared to Villagomez, but again, Villagomez isn't a very good driver. He made a step up from F3 way too early. I think this kind of shows that Fittipaldi's an okay driver. He's by no means a bad driver, but he's just not top tier. Fittipaldi, 1 win, 2 podiums, nil apiece for Villagomez. Not surprising. And then we have high tech with Paul Aaron and Amaury Cordial. And this is expected. Aaron's been terrific this season. He's probably been the best rookie in the championship with those 7 race result victories and those 7 qualifying result victories over his teammate. Sprint results 6-2, total points 117 to 25. Average qualifying as well is similar to that Crawford one we saw with a 0.67 difference, which is absolutely huge in this series. Aaron, though, still has 0 wins, which is the same as Cordeal, so I mean, at least Cordeal has that, but Aaron does have those 7 podiums, which is the most in the championship. So, congratulations to Aaron. I think it's his series it's going off track a little bit, but he needs to get that back on track. I think it's okay if he did spend another year in F2, if Tadger did win, but ultimately winning F2 is a dream, so hopefully Aaron does that this year. Then with Trident and Vishaw and Stanek, and this is kind of a weird one because I think Vishaw's been a way more consistent driver, but Stanek had that odd race where he just turns up, like at Silverstone where he got that 1 point in the sprint race coming from 22nd, which is that's insane. So we see that Stanek has more race result victories over Vishaw, but has 7-1 in qualifying, and that leaves him with a 0.365 gap in qualifying on average. So it's quite a substantial gap, not a massive one, but still evident that Vishaw's race pace or single lap pace is better than Stanek's. Points very close, only 3 points difference, but still they're both at the bottom of the table, so it's not really a big difference because one kind of good result and one good weekend could boost you way up ahead of your teammate. And that 1 win for Stanek puts him above Vishaw in both podiums and in wins. Now we have PHM, and both of these guys have podium, which is very impressive given everyone's expectations of them at the start of the season. But I think Dirksen's kind of shown himself, implemented himself in that team really well, shown his maturity with those kind of performances he's put on more recently in Austria and in Spain. So Dirksen has those 5-3 race results, 4-3 sprint results, and 4-3 qualifying results as well. But the qualifying gap slightly in Barnard's favour, which suggests that Barnard out-qualifies Dirksen. When he does, he does it by quite a big margin. So maybe that shows that in some races, Dirksen's way off the pace. And I think that is actually reflective of what we see in F2. Obviously, Barnard's win puts him with 1 win compared to Dirksen's 0, but Dirksen obviously has that podium as well, which he got in Imola, so 1 podium apiece. That's my video. Let me know what kind of driver pairing you think is the most interesting. I think there's some quite tasty ones in there, so let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Peace.